Hi there, Cagdas. So, your last set of essays, I know you said your exam is coming up next week, so let's take a look and see what you wrote here, okay? Green energy, so here's what you said. Popularity? The popularity of renewable energy is inevitably growing, and the issue of whether green energy is more profitable and environmentally friendly or insecure has caused a controversial debate in recent years. In my opinion, benefits of green energy are considerably more than its drawbacks. And this essay will discuss both views by using examples from the Ministry of Energy and Resources and the Republic of Turkey to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay. This sentence was good, the second one. This first one felt a little awkward to me in a couple of places, and I want to go through it so we can talk about why. The popularity of renewable energy, and I didn't understand this, is inevitably growing. It just didn't really feel like it fit so well. Okay. You could have said undoubtedly. That would have worked better. But inevitably means like we have no choice. Like, and almost like it's a bad thing. Like it kind of implies that we're not really happy about it. So I'm not really happy with that word inevitably. Like I said, undoubtedly would have worked. So let's try it again. The popularity of renewable energy is undoubtedly growing, and the issue of whether it is more profitable and environmentally friendly or creates energy security. That would have been a better way to say it, because what does that mean if green energy is insecure? It just felt a little strange to me. Has caused a controversial debate. Okay, so if you made those changes, I think it would have been a really strong introduction. All right. So one suggestion to you would be to revise these rules about articles, okay, to make sure that you're using them correctly. All right. All right, let's move on. To begin with, relying mostly on green energy as a resource might be a risky investment in terms of security for both developed and developing countries. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, it would be much easier by international companies. I think you mean much easier for international companies to leak into the governmental bodies while bringing the green energy technology in a developing country. Secondly, developed countries may suffer from unpredicted environmental impacts on renewable resources compared to conventional sources such as coal or nuclear. All right. Okay. Anyway, let's see what you wrote. To give an example, empirical research by the Ministry of Energy and Resources demonstrated that due to climate change, 40% of wind turbines generated less energy, than predicted this year due to decreasing wind power. Therefore, it is possible to state beyond doubt that counting totally on green energy may threaten the energy security of a country. Okay, now I understand it. So, let's talk about this. You decided to talk first about your two main reasons and then offer one piece of support. That's one way to do this, but I really would prefer that each main reason, main idea that you present is somehow supported, okay? Because when I read this first sentence, I didn't know what you mean. All right. You went on to your second reason why you think it's a risky investment, and then you gave an example. So let's just look at it again. I didn't understand this sentence. What does that mean to leak into governmental bodies by bringing green energy? So, and quite frankly, it doesn't seem to me that you supported this idea anywhere here. So what that means is that you've left an idea that is unsupported, and I really don't want you to do that. Any main idea that you present, obviously in this paragraph you had two, it really should be supported. You should explain it. You should go into some detail. You should give an illustration, give an example, explain what you mean essentially, because it left me rather confused. And it left it like there was something dangling. There was something hanging there, all right? So you really needed to support this. All right, and then here, let's say developed countries may suffer from unpredicted weather impacts on humanity. Okay, now here this too was a little confusing. Okay, you explained it, but I think you should have made it more clear that you were talking about climate change and its effect on renewable energy. So you should have mentioned that expression somewhere. Let's see. So secondly, developed countries may suffer from not developed countries, but secondly, all right, let's just go with it. Secondly, developed countries may suffer from let's let's say, unpredicted environment on compared with the convention. Okay. All right. I guess it's fine. I mean, but I say that it's fine after I've read the whole paragraph, so I know what you're trying to say. What I'm trying to explain to you, Cagdas, is that this sentence on its own was not self-explanatory. So I think you could have made it clearer. Okay. You could have just said that it is predicted that climate change will have an effect on renewable energy, which relies so much on, things like wind, hydroelectric power, the sun, and therefore it can create energy security. And then you could have gone into that detail. So if you had just phrased it a little more clearly, I think it would have been okay. All right? So let's go on to your next paragraph here. Nevertheless, green energy would be a cheaper and cleaner solution than non-renewable energy. This is largely because it is sustainable and does not pollute the environment. Careful with this here. For example, in my country, Turkey, due to construction of new nuclear plants, many villagers had to be relocated from their homeland because air quality substantially declined. Okay, it wasn't reduced, it declined. So carefully use the right word here. And their agricultural lands were polluted. If the power of the sun as an energy resource had been used instead, those negative impacts would not have happened. Consequently, it is conclusively clear that renewable energy can be inevitably considered to be an economical and ecological solution for governments. Okay, so check it out. Here you talk about it being a cheaper and cleaner solution. Here you talk about it being economical and ecological. So that's lovely. You've got the right vocabulary, you've got the right words. But never in this paragraph do you talk about it being more economical. You only talk about it being more ecological. Okay? So that's a pretty big deal because it's one of the things you really have to talk about. Better for the environment and reduces costs. So while you mentioned it, you didn't talk about it. Okay? Do you see the difference? So that's something that's not going to really help your score. It's not going to help you hit one of those higher band scores. So I really, really absolutely want to advise you to be careful about this kind of thing. Okay? So, in conclusion, while counting completely on green energy can be risky business, get rid of this A, due to the possibilities of security leakages and rapid environmental changes, I reckon that it should be the preferable option as an energy source thanks to its low cost and sustainability. Okay, that's lovely. All right, Cagdas. So, some takeaways from this essay. Make sure each one of your main ideas is supported. Make sure that you cover all parts of the task. Okay, and watch out for some of these awkward kind of areas. Things like grammar, watch your prepositions and watch your articles. Make sure you're using an article where you should and that you don't use one where you should not. Okay, so let's take a look now at your task 1. Okay, Cagdas, so now let's take a look at this letter about the dog. So here's what you wrote. Dear Mr. Chris, I am just writing to ask you if you could find a solution to quiet down your pretty little dog. I and my son really enjoy playing with your dog at the weekends, and he's very friendly to us. However, all through the day, he is barking constantly and loudly, so unfortunately, in the night time, it prevents all my family from sleeping. Since I also owned a dog few years ago, I think I know what his problem is, and I'm ready to help you in this matter. I strongly believe that he feels lonely and is looking for a mate during this time of the year. Maybe it would be a good idea to let him spend more time outdoors, especially at the park where everybody brings their dogs for a walk. Please feel free to let me know if you require any further assistance to solve that matter. Otherwise, I will regrettably need to write an official letter to the Environmental Department. Thanks for your cooperation. Best regards. Okay. Okay. This is your next door neighbor, right? And the style with which you wrote him is rather informal, which is fine. I mean, I think that makes sense. He's your neighbor. So, unless you don't know him, it makes sense to write in this style. But what didn't really make sense to me was this last sentence, which really felt rather formal and rather abrupt, and it didn't really fit the tone of the rest of the letter. So I think you should have softened that a little bit. All right. Remember, it's supposed to be a nice, respectful style. And here you got rather threatening. So I wasn't really, really super crazy about that. Okay. What you could have said instead is, please feel free to let me know if you require any further assistance to solve this matter would be better. I am sure that we will find a mutually, I made this a little formal too. I am certain that we will find an easy solution so that this problem does not need to continue further. Okay, I think that would have been a nicer, more appropriate way to end this, because this otherwise was a very nice, friendly letter. Let's see. I am just writing to ask you. This was a little sudden. I mean, yeah, of course you're supposed to go into the reason for your writing straight away. And okay, that's true. But I thought you could have maybe, I don't know, maybe just made it a little softer. Especially since it is informal. Maybe you could have said in how are you, which we do in an informal letter. So this kind of made me feel that maybe you wanted it to be more neutral in style, which I guess too is okay. Let's see. So I'm just writing to ask you if you could find a solution. Yeah, that's what it is. It just, you went right into it. I'm writing to ask you for a solution. I wanted you to kind of explain the situation a little better. So maybe like, dear Mr. Chris, I wanted to let you know, how much we love your dog and we love playing with him at the weekends, especially my son and I. However, recently we have really, there has really been a problem. Okay. And then you could say that the dog has been barking all day and all night. Do you see the difference? So you're kind of setting up the situation. We love the dog. It's lovely. It's so cute. It's so sweet. Okay. I wasn't really happy with pretty. Pretty is, more for like, pretty girls, pretty dresses, pretty clothes, not so much a dog. So I wasn't thrilled with that word. Cute would have been nice, adorable, friendly, lots of words. Okay. And that it should be my son and I. And then the rest of it was fine. One other thing here in this paragraph actually is this. It prevents my whole family, or all of my family would have been, okay? Let's see. Yeah, and like I said, the rest of it just felt very informal, which was fine. It was friendly. I didn't mind any of that. But just a couple of those areas, like I said here, with this, and then with this, and then this last sentence, okay? So you're doing well. There's still some things that I want you to be careful of, though, when you take the test on Sunday. Geez, let's see. Today's Monday. Your test is Sunday. I mean, potentially you could sign up for some more essay corrections with us before your exam, so you could just keep practicing this whole week. See if that's something you could do. I would encourage you to do so if you can, just so that we can, maybe clean up some of these little errors that are happening, all right? So hopefully we'll see more essays from you this week. If not, I wish you lots of luck on your exam. Please let us know how you do. We'll be waiting to hear from you, okay? So good luck.